All right, let's talk about something we all do pretty much constantly without even thinking about it. Speaking. I mean, it feels so simple, right? But behind every single word, there's this incredible show your body puts on. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain.
Now really, just stop for a second and think about that. How does some abstract idea or a feeling or just, wanting something turn into actual sound that other people can understand? It honestly feels a little bit like magic, but it's a super finely tuned process.
Okay, picture this. You're at a restaurant, it's busy, the family's there, the waiter shows up, and you just rattle off this whole order without missing a beat. We'll have the paneer tikka masala, 2 dal fry, and hey, can we get some noodles for the kids? You just say it. But that effortless sentence, it's a total neurological marvel.
So how in the world does that actually happen? How does this simple idea of "I'm hungry and I want this food" turn into a perfectly constructed sentence? Well, there is a ton of backstage drama going on in your brain. It's this perfectly coordinated dance between your thoughts and your muscles. So let's dive in and see how the whole thing works.
Yeah, that act that feels so simple, it involves this surprisingly sophisticated multi-stage process. Before a single sound even thinks about leaving your lips, your brain has already done a mountain of work.
The people who study this stuff have actually broken this whole journey down into 4 distinct steps. You can think of it like a little production line that starts with just an idea and ends with you, speaking your mind.
And here it is. This is basically the blueprint. See how it all flows from top to bottom? It goes from that first thought to planning the language, then planning the muscle movements, and finally, the muscles actually doing the thing. Every single word you say follows this exact path.
So, let's break it down. First, you have the thought. Simple enough. Then, your brain digs through its files to find the right words and grammar. After that, it creates this super detailed plan for how to move all the tiny muscles involved. And finally, boom, the muscles get the signal and carry out the plan.
Okay, looking at a flowchart is one thing, but to really get a feel for how this works, let's have some fun with it. Let's imagine this whole operation is run by a little team of specialists living inside your head.
So let's go meet the crew, the dedicated employees of your brain's very own speech department. These are the characters who are working together seamlessly every single time you want to say something.
And this is where it all kicks off. Meet the thinker. This guy is the ideas person, the CEO of the whole operation. He's the one who comes up with the core concept of whatever it is you want to say.
And that's exactly it. The thinker's job is purely conceptual. We're not even talking about words yet. We're talking about the raw, abstract idea that needs to get out. It all starts with him.
So the thinker sends his big idea down the hall to the next desk, and that belongs to the linguist. She's the language expert, the absolute master of words, grammar, the whole shebang. Her job is to take that abstract thought and, dress it up in language. She chooses just the right words, puts them in the correct order, and builds a sentence that actually makes sense and people can understand.
Now, once that sentence is all put together, it gets sent over to the super meticulous character, the motor planner. Think of him as the choreographer or maybe the engineer of this whole operation.
And listen, this part is absolutely crucial. He takes the words from the linguist and translates them into an unbelievably detailed blueprint of movements. He plans out the exact microsecond your tongue needs to touch the roof of your mouth, exactly how your lips need to be shaped for every sound, everything. It's wild.
So, the motor planner sends his incredibly detailed instructions down to the crew on the factory floor, the muscles of your mouth, your tongue, and your vocal cords.
And these guys are the ones who do all the heavy lifting. They get the plan, and they just execute it perfectly, moving in this amazing coordination to produce the actual sounds that make up your words.
Okay, so we've met the whole team. Now let's actually watch them in action. We'll give them a really simple task. Communicate the idea, "I like carrots." And here we go. It all starts with the thinker. He's got this simple, wordless idea, right? Just a positive feeling connected to carrots. Then he sends that abstract concept over to the next department.
So, the linguist gets the concept, and bam, gets right to work. She pulls the perfect words from her massive vocabulary and assembles them into a simple, grammatically correct sentence. I like carrots.
Now this is the part that just blows my mind. The motor planner gets that sentence and starts creating this incredibly detailed choreography. He maps out the precise sequence for the A sound, the lip movement for the L, the tongue position for the K, and so on for the whole phrase. And here's the grand finale. The muscles of the mouth get their orders and they just jump into action.
The tongue rises, the lips shape the sounds, the air flows from your lungs, and out comes the audible phrase, "I like carrots."
I mean, when you put it all together like that, it's really nothing short of a masterpiece of coordination. And it's happening right inside your head every single second of the day.
But you want to know the most amazing part of all this? That entire 4-step process? This whole office workflow with the thinker and the linguist and the planner and the muscles? It all happens in a fraction of a second. It's a silent, unconscious, biological marvel that we are all performing constantly, without ever giving a single thought to the incredible team that's making it all happen.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If the simple act of speaking is this complicated, what other everyday miracles are our brains and our bodies performing right now completely behind the scenes? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this one.